What cruise lines don't warn you about at port stops? You'd think the whole point of cruise was to cruise hop off, see the world, grab a fridge magnet or two. But something's changing. More and more cruisers are choosing to stay on board while docked. And I'll be honest, I've done entire cruises without stepping off the ship once, and I don't regret a second of it. So what's going on here? Why are experienced travelers skipping the shore for the ship? And when should you consider doing the same? Let's dive into the smart reasons why staying on board might just be the best part of your next cruise. When the port just isn't safe. Just because a ship stops somewhere doesn't mean you should get off. Port safety varies, and some places are riskier than they used to be. Tourism can attract petty crime, scams, and worse. That quaint market street might even be listed on a government advisory. Before any cruise, I always check official travel safety sites like the UKFCO or U.S. State Department advisories. If I see red flags, I stay on board, no questions asked. This has kept me away from recent unrest in Cozumel, issues in Honduras, and warnings in parts of the Bahamas. Sometimes the pool deck is a safer adventure. Too much effort, too little time. Let's be honest. Some ports are more trouble than they're worth, especially when the ship docks far from anything remotely interesting. Think of ports like La Spezia for Florence, Livorno for Pisa, or Le Havre for Paris. They all involve buses, tours, or expensive transport just to see a thing or two. After a 2-hour bus ride, do you really feel like marveling at a cathedral? Me neither. And if I've been before, there's no shame in spending the day relaxing on board with cappuccino and no crowds. It's your vacation, not a sightseeing marathon. The port and name only trick. Some port names are just clever marketing. When your itinerary says Rome, Civitavecchia, it really means Rome, 90 minutes away. Same with Venice, Trieste, or Florence, Livorno. You're not docking by the Colosseum. You're docking by a bus depot. I now double-check ports with tools like what'sinport.com to see exactly where we're stopping. Because if I need to spend hours getting to the main attraction, I'd rather spend that time on deck with a good book and a better view. Too many ships, too many people. Cruise ports are getting crowded, especially in peak season. Nothing kills a vibe like 15,000 cruisers descending on the same tiny island. I once checked cruisetimetables.com before arriving in Nassau. One day had 2 ships. The next had 6. Guess which day I chose to go ashore. If a port is slammed with megaships, I'm not elbowing my way through souvenir shops. I'm claiming a lounge chair to view while everyone else waits in line. When the locals say no thanks, some places simply don't want us anymore. It's a growing trend in over-tourist cities. Think Barcelona protesters with water guns, Venice actively limiting ship arrivals, Bergen and parts of Norway putting up posters literally telling cruisers to go away. If the local vibe feels hostile, I take the hint. I'd rather enjoy the serenity of the ship instead of playing the unwanted guest. Getting your money's worth on board. Let's talk value. Cruises now come loaded with add-ons and upcharges, from drink packages to spa passes to private cabanas. If you paid hundreds for extras, why spend the day ashore on port days? I've had thermal suites all to myself. I've had the same cabana others paid a fortune for, minus the crowd. And I've enjoyed lunch at the buffet without waiting behind 20 people to slice roast beef. Sometimes staying on board feels like having the whole ship to yourself. Drink packages, use it or lose it. Here's a simple truth. Your drink package doesn't work in port. That $80 a day fee? Totally wasted if you're out touring. Even if you're not a big drinker. The same goes for coffees, sodas, mocktails. They're all prepaid but only available on board. So on days when I want to relax with a few cold ones or hot lattes, I skip the port and soak up the savings. Faster Wi-Fi, less frustration. Cruise ship Wi-Fi has improved. Thanks, Starlink. But when 3,000 passengers are all trying to FaceTime their cat at once, good luck. On port days, though, the bandwidth is wide open. It's the best time to check emails, upload photos, or finally stream that mystery show you started last year. Sometimes the internet is faster than the shore. Port day deals you didn't know about. Want to try the spa but hate the price tag? Try it on a port day. Massages, facials, and wraps often drop 20 to 30% when everyone's ashore. Specialty restaurants do the same, especially for lunch. I once had a 3-course steakhouse meal for half the evening price. Plus, no scrambling for reservations. Staying on board can be luxurious and cheaper if you know when to do it, when the ship is a destination. Sometimes a ship is just too good to leave. Resort-style ships like Symphony of the Seas or Norwegian Viva are floating amusement parks. Water slides, go-karts, trivia games, afternoon tea. You can't do it all in just sea days. So I skip a few ports to enjoy the ship without waiting in lines. It's like getting a private resort day without the resort fee. The hidden joy of doing laundry on board. You know you're officially a seasoned cruiser when laundry becomes a highlight. On longer cruises, clean underwear starts feeling like a luxury. Most cruisers don't realize that laundry rooms are ghost towns on port days. No lines, no stolen dryers. And you might even score an iron that works. I now bring a book, toss in a load, and pretend it's a relaxing spa ritual. Bonus tip. Some cruise lines offer mid-cruise laundry specials. They'll wash, press, and fold for less than you'd pay at home on one trip. I sent everything out, and it came back folded with more precision than I've ever managed in my life. Yes, on some port days I stay on board just to do laundry, like a pampered adult. The spa is practically empty and discounted. Cruise spas know we're not all made of gold, but they do have a sneaky trick. Port day discounts. Massages, facials, maybe even a seaweed wrap if you're feeling adventurous, all slashed by 20 to 40%. Best of all, no relaxing to the sound of bingo over the intercom. It's peaceful, serene, and no one's trying to sell you miracle wrinkle cream, at least not as aggressively. I always check the spa flyer the night before port and book a treatment, while everyone else fights over beach loungers in town. It's the only time on a cruise where relaxation actually feels like a bargain. The best time for peaceful pools and empty hot tubs. If you ever tried finding a lounger at sea on a sunny day, you know it's like playing musical chairs with towels. But when the ship docks and the crowds vanish, it's pool heaven. No kids cannonballing. No loud music. No spilled daiquiris near your book. Just you, the sun, and a hot tub with actual elbow room. I once had the infinity pool all to myself and felt like royalty. If you love the pool but hate the chaos, a port day soak is absolute bliss. Just don't forget sunscreen. Empty pools mean fewer witnesses to warn you about lobster-level sunburns. The bar staff actually have time to chat. Here's something that doesn't get enough love. The bartenders. They're some of the best conversationalists on board, and they know all the ship gossip. But when the ship is full, they're pouring drinks faster than you can say, extra olives. On port days, different story. I can sit at the bar, sip a mocktail, and chat about favorite ports, weird passenger stories, or where to find the best espresso martini on board. One time, a bartender even taught me how to make a signature drink and let me name it. It was called the Lazy Cruiser. Finally, you can just sit and do nothing. This might be the most underrated perk of staying on board. You don't have to do anything. No rushing. No queues. No excursions. You can sit on your balcony, read a book, stare at the ocean, and enjoy that rare thing we forget exists, stillness. Sometimes I grab a tea, park myself near a window in the cafe, and people watch the few others who also stay behind. It's like the ship breathes differently on port days, quieter, calmer, almost spa-like. Honestly, it's my favorite kind of vacation day, the one where no one expects anything from you at all. Bonus hacks. If you're going on a cruise, there's one place you're guaranteed to visit. Not the spa, not the casino. I'm talking about the glorious, overflowing buffet. It's convenient. It's fast. It's where diets go to die with dignity. But as wonderful as a cruise buffet can be, there are some easy mistakes that can ruin your experience or someone else's. When you first board, you're excited, hungry, and so is everyone else. That's why the buffet is packed tighter than a Black Friday sale at Costco. Families with luggage, long lines, no tables. Here's your pro move. Check if the main dining room is open. Many offer a quiet, sit-down lunch with better food and no chaos. Or head to the pool grill or pizza station. Some ships even offer discounted specialty dining on day one, a little-known perk. Bottom line, unless you love a crowd, skip the embarkation buffet madness and explore your quieter options